Out come Sheffield Eagles for this, the match that has been described by their coach, Gary Hetherington, as the most important match in their history. And Darryl Powell has been there every inch of the way. An original Eagle. And out come Wigan to their usual reception here at Central Park. The last time that Central Park stages a first-team game this season. And Martin Offiah, what a tremendous record he has got in this competition. And 36 tries have come in just 7 seasons. Let's just check out the Wigan side for you again. Aitchison at full-back, Tuigamala, Panapa, Connolly and Offiah. Then it's Botica and Edwards who's captain. Cowie, Hall and Platt, Betts, Farrell and Clark. And on the bench, a return for Jason Robinson and Mick Cassidy. And the coach, of course, it's Graham West these days. Mark Aston, star man in the Sheffield Eagles lineup, scored all 10 points in that match in March. This is their side: Hayes, Stott and Price, Frace, Plange, Powell and Aston. And the forwards: Broadbent, Jackson, Cook, Carr, Maguire and Farrell. And on the bench, it's Ian Hughes and Dale Lawton, and the coach is Gary Hetherington. Match referee is David Campbell from Widnes, Challenge Cup final referee, of course, and he was in charge of our match last Friday. Sheffield, a study of concentration. And before this game gets underway, we will observe a minute's silence to mark the death of the Labour leader, John Smith, yesterday. And as at all rugby league occasions, the minute's silence impeccably observed. No matter what your politics, I think you'll agree that John Smith, a sad and tragic loss. So it's the Stones Bidder Premiership semi-final. The saga of the weekend begins right here at Central Park. Lee Jackson knows what it takes to get to the big one. He has been there in the past with Hull in 1991. He was a Premiership winner. Can he get there with Sheffield Eagles here tonight? 80 minutes from Old Trafford. We're live from Central Park. Sheffield 6th against the champions Wigan. The Wembley of the North, the prize at stake. What a match this promises to be. Sheffield in a rich vein of form and trying to keep Wigan penned back in their own half in the opening moments of this game. Dennis Betts taking that tackle. Martin Hall was the dummy half. This is Neil Cowie who's driving it up, but met fairly and squarely by Paul Broadbent.
Well, a key factor to that Sheffield win at Don Valley Stadium early in the season was powerhouse tackling. And you can see that the Sheffield Eagles definitely mean business tonight.
That ball went backwards, so referee David Campbell says play on. Wigan hacked it forward. Anthony Farrell has it on the halfway line.
Bad mistake by Phil Clark. Surprising that Edwards just put the boot to that. Referee has not blown up, but that is good defence. Making amends there, the loose forward, Clark.
Paul Carr releases the ball before he goes down. Broadbent, it was sloppy play. It was hacked on by Botica. The ball, though, finds touch over on that far side, and it will be Sheffield's head and feed.
It's all about the defence putting pressure on. It was not the best pass. Not much that Maguire could do about it, but this will be a head and feed to Sheffield. Wigan applying the first pressure.
Sheffield Eagles feed at the scrum then by Mark Aston. They have not won on 5 previous visits to Central Park.
Well, that's an interesting one. You'll see Edwards knock it away, and that should be a penalty. Now, the referee, David Campbell, looked towards the touch judge, but surely he could see that the ball was reefed away.
Wigan have possession from the scrum. This is Panaper. First vital decision then going against the Eagles. Wigan in possession just outside the quarter with Connolly. Maguire was the first man in, such an important cog in this Sheffield Eagles machine. Cowie trying to get the ball away, forcing the pace. It bounced off the ankles of Hall, and luckily for Sheffield, Mick Cook was there to tidy up.
Well, the pass was never really on there. The prop forward, Neil Cowie, should have gone to ground with it. He's having a few words to say to the hooker, Martin Hall. Perhaps the hooker called for it.
Broadbent with that drive, Cowie there, Platt there too, three prop forwards in your picture there. That was Jackson with the ball inside to Farrell. And it was his namesake, Andy Farrell, who got the tackle in. Farrell Powell. It's the last tackle for Sheffield Eagles. Jackson, dummy half to Aston. Diagonal kick from Aston, but Aitchison had positioned himself well. Tucks the ball under the arm and then hairs away, but that's a good tackle by Paul Carr. Tuigamala standing in the tackle because Linton Stott had taken him round the ankles. Eventually takes the tumble.
Good work by the little Linton Stott winger there. He really went low. You've got to go low on a man like that, but look at the impact there. Oh, Maguire really putting the shoulder to him.
Bruce Maguire, the Terminator, he looks like in that headgear. This is Dennis Betts. Good tackling by Mick Cook. And Darren Powell was there too. Hall, the dummy half for Wigan. Edwards will hoist the high kick. He was under pressure from Maguire. The ball bounces high again on this surface. Connolly tries to get it. And the fullback, Brad Hayes, is there to tidy up the pieces for Sheffield.
Well, they were the tactics that we expected. They'll be peppering the fullback, Brad Hayes, all night. This time it went out under the wing. You could see that Hayes didn't want to get to know that one.
0-0 then here at Central Park, just over 4 minutes gone. Broadbent with this run up to the 10-metre mark inside his own half. Jackson again the dummy half. This is Cook, player of the season in the Sheffield lineup for the past 4 seasons. Lost his hooking role to Lee Jackson when he arrived, but doing a sterling job as a prop forward. Now Aston injects a bit of pace and he finds David Price, who turns inside. Sean Edwards gets away almost from Aitchison, but Aitchison that time measured him and took him perfectly. Here's Aston now, long ball out wide to Stott, and Stott, the pass has been judged forward. Stott thought the line was beckoning.
Nice pass from Aston, but it was a forward pass on the last, so that'll be a changeover. But what a great run from David Price. We mentioned before the game started that Wigan were having a few problems in defence. Their new coach, Graham West, has worked hard all week, but that was a great run by the Frenchman.
16 caps for his country for David Price. 2 tries at Warrington. Sheffield's leading scorer with 22 touchdowns this season. It's a glorious night at Central Park, a night for summer barbecues, not Premiership semi-finals. But this is a lovely run from Hall, and Cowie over the top looking for Tuigamala. The ball bounces out, and Cowie can't believe that that ball went to ground.
Well, the one thing perhaps that the new coach Graham West will be giving the prop forward Neil Cowie after today's game, and that's a coaching manual, how to pass the ball correctly. But a great run from the hooker Martin Hall. He really did scoot through the gap.
Linton Stott almost through, but it was his opposite number, Tuigamala, who cut him down that time. Here's Anthony Farrell trying to get away from Phil Clark, gets the ball free, and it's now with Clems. That was good work by Richard Price. Bit of a tangle of legs. Was that a knock on by Jackson? Yes.
Doesn't like it, but there's little doubt about it. The pressure early in the game, barely 6.5 minutes gone, It's tense.
Big prize, big exposure, big money next Sunday. Sheffield would really think that they had come of big league age if they got to the major Premiership final, and particularly if they beat Wigan here tonight. Something they've never done, but before this season they hadn't beaten Wigan full stop. That record has now been put to rights. Here's Andy Platt. Of course, if Wigan lose tonight, this is Andy Platt's last match for the champions before he goes off to Auckland and the Warriors. Hall, that was great play from the marker by Maguire.
Super stuff by the Australian second row. That really is working the second marker to its fullest ability. They got caught out before, though, when the run from Martin Hall caught them out, but not on that occasion.
Yes, great work from Maguire, and great work too from Aitchison, taking Wigan to halfway. Edwards with the high midfield bomb. Hayes is underneath it, pulls that one in cleanly, but he's met by Andrew Farrell. 0-0 here at Central Park on a glorious summer's evening. 0-0. Crunch time. Betts on Linton Stock. One of the biggest men against one of the smallest men on the field. Good work running here from Lee Jackson, and the support was there from Aston. He's now looking for support, tries to get the ball around Panapa, and it was Bottica there who picked up the pieces.
It should have gone first time. Try to go around him, and you can't do that. Bottica's a pretty strong man. It should have gone first time. It was a wonderful run from the hooker, Jackson.
And here's a wonderful run now from Edwards, just ankle tapped though by Mick Cook. Good job that Cook stretched out the arm and pulled the Wigan skipper down then. Hall the dummy half to Clark. And Clark is dumped to the ground a little dangerously by Powell. Brought oohs and ahs from the crowd, that did. Here's Cowie. And is that a beard I see Neil Cowie sporting? Hall the dummy half. Edwards dinks one over the top. Hayes is there. Aitchison's there. And Aitchison cleans him out. But was he onside?
Took it well, didn't he? The fullback really careered into him. Well, we thought that Wigan would give Brad Hayes plenty of work to do tonight, but he's shown that he's got the confidence. That's the second one he's taken, and that's got to be a penalty.
Martin Hall stole the ball.
There you can see it quite clearly. Dragged away. Never allowing the man to play the football.
Martin Hall, a champion with Wigan, but he missed out on Wembley, and how he would love to get to Old Trafford to make up for that disappointment. I know he was bitterly upset that Martin Dermott returned for Wembley, but he kept his own counsel, and here he is now in this Premiership semi-final with Old Trafford beckoning. It beckons both these sides. We've had 10 minutes. We're still waiting the first points. Broadbent will drive it up again for Sheffield Eagles. Stiff tackling from Wigan. Only one defeat at home all season for Wigan. That was against Wakefield Trinity here. 13 points to 20 they went down. They certainly are not the invincible force they were a couple of years ago, because here comes Powell with a wonderful break through the gap. Edwards is after him. Powell dubs it forward. Trace with the pace. Aitchison there, and he hacks that behind the posts. That's tremendous play from Sheffield.
Superb play by Powell there. Right into the gap. They used the dummy runners there, and Aitchison had to be there. The Frenchman was just about to swoop. But what a superb passage of play by Sheffield. They used the dummy runner. It was a long ball from Aston. Two forwards went through, and coming on the loop was Daryl Powell into an enormous gap. Wigan, again, are having problems out wide in defence.
The drop out from underneath the sticks by Farrell into the Sheffield half. It's run back in to the Wigan half of the field by Linton Stott. You get the feeling that if ever Wigan are to be toppled, this could be the night. The way Sheffield have started. Broadbent running strongly onto that, makes good ground. Jackson the dummy half to Aston. He finds Daryl Powell. Ball inside to Brad Hayes. Hayes keeping the ball alive, risky business. Aston picked it up. Here's Richard Price. Quite a record for Price, his 75th consecutive appearance, 78th if you include substitutions. And this is Paul Carr, turns the ball back to Jackson. It was through Jackson's legs. Again, Sheffield so close.
Jackson didn't realise it was popping up there, but a great run from the Australian Carr. And Edwards came to the rescue. Wigan are on the rack. Their scrambling defence is just holding out.
Platt with that run. Andy Platt, the current man of steel. Edwards, one of this year's contenders. There's Farrell.
Well, there's quite a wind out there, and it's advantageous to Wigan at the moment. And quite frankly, Wigan should be looking towards hoofing the ball well downfield.
They might do here now, because it's the last tackle for Wigan. Edwards clips it into the open space. Stott has to retreat. Hayes comes across. The fullback decides to take it. And Clark and Twiggamala there, and Hayes just for a moment thought about releasing the ball, but the look inside saw there was no one there to receive the pass. Here's Linton Stott. He's swung to the ground by Cowie. Now Richard Price. Hauled down by Cowie again, getting through a lot of work, the Wigan number 8. Jackson. Cook, but Connolly was there, he hacked it forward, a fire. You don't get chances like that to Martin Afire. After all that pressure from Sheffield, they spill the ball, Connolly hacks it forward, and the speedster on the wing, Martin Afire, does the rest.
It was a dummy from Lee Jackson. He said, go through the hole there. But a fingertip got to it. Now, was it a Wigan fingertip? Not according to the referee, David Campbell, but what a lovely bounce there for Martin Afire. And Wigan, the champions at picking up the chances of taking the lead. You'll see Jackson to try to push through the gap. But did Connolly get a fingertip to it? Either way, the try is being taken. The speed is enough. Afire is on his way.
So that's his 35th of the season and his 37th in the Premiership. It's one heck of a record. And he's breathing down the neck of St John Ellis, the leading try scorer with 40 touchdowns. Ellis, of course, in that match on Sunday against Bradford. But Martin Afire, he certainly is back with a lot of confidence and with 35 tries. What about 166 goals for Frano Botica? Far out, this conversion. If anyone can kick them, this fellow can. Got chances, just scraped the post. So Wigan 4, Sheffield 0.
You can see how Connolly is arrowed there. Heavy traffic, and Jackson should have parked. He decided to continue on, and this is what happens. But did he get a fingertip to it? Not conclusive, but according to the referee Campbell, it's A-OK, and 4 points for Martin Afire.
Good work from Connolly. Sheffield then restart. Andy Farrell will run it back to the 20-metre mark. First blood to the champions then, 4-0. After all that pressure too, Steve-O, from the Eagles.
But a deja vu about that, about this Wigan play, isn't it? They just hang around and suddenly they pounce. You cannot give them opportunities like that. The experienced Lee Jackson will be kicking himself.
Lovely run from Martin Hall. It was Broadbent and Farrell that brought him down. Edwards will drill the ball along the ground and finds touch. Just settles the ship.
Let's get out of here. Experience showing there. Shaun Edwards, a man for many occasions, and usually the occasions are finals and winners' medals.
Yes, the most decorated man in the history of the game, Shaun Edwards. Watching us, his opposite, Mark Aston feeds that scrum. This is David Plange. Flange won cap for his country way back in 1988 against the French. Powell turns the ball inside to Richard Price. Scooping run from him, but heavy traffic ahead of him in the shape of Clark and Cowie. Here's Bruce Maguire. Now Mick Cook. Keeps it alive again. It's good stuff from the Eagles, but again they're taking chances in their own half. But will it pay off for them with Price? No, great tackle from Paul Aitchison.
Second time Aitchison has come to the rescue on the Frenchman.
Powell cuts inside, gets the ball away to Aston. Price will continue the movement. They keep the ball alive well with Brad Hayes. Hayes thought about nipping one out the back door, but thought better of it. That's the last tackle for Sheffield. Here's Jackson. Now it's Aston. Drills one into the corner. Twigamala just hauled that in.
Not the best kick, but well taken by Twigamala. But that was superb play by Sheffield. They're running the angles, keeping the ball alive. And they're finding the gaps, Eddie.
They are, and they're keen, and they're eager, and they're hungry. 4-0 they trail, though. The champions have weathered early pressure and have struck with that Martin of Fire try, if you're just tuning in, as you make your way home from work. 4-0. Wigan in possession with Aitchison. 10 metres inside their own half. Aitchison picks himself up. Betts was the dummy half. Edwards again will kick. Aims it in the space behind Linton Stock, and again he finds the mark. 2 in a row from Edwards that have found touch.
Business as usual at the office at Central Park here for Shaun Edwards. Picked the spot superb. They'll apply the pressure now and hope that the Eagles make a drastic mistake, similar to the one that allowed them to score the opening try.
Shaun Edwards, a survivor of the first ever meeting against Sheffield Eagles in 1987. They've certainly come a long way, though, Steve-O, this Sheffield side, in the 10 years that they've been in operation.
They sure have. They play with a lot of pride and a lot of nous, too. It's very clever football that they're producing now, running the angles, as we say, keeping this ball alive. You'll notice that a lot of the players run in and bounce and spin in the tackle.
Referee has given a penalty because Dennis Betts was pulling at the head guard of Mick Cook.
Pulls it off. That's an offence. Silly play, though.
It's the sort of offence that Wigan profited from in the Wembley final, you may remember. Leeds were applying all the pressure. Cassidy went on a run, had the head guard ripped off him.
Yeah, but it's a lack of discipline there. The new coach, Graham West, won't be happy with that.
Jackson, the dummy half. Cook now, head guard restored. Just inside the Wigan half of the field. Jackson spins the ball off the ground to Aston. He finds Powell. Powell to Price. Space for Price. Quickly closed down, though, by Platt and Connolly. Flange, the acting halfback. Anthony Farrell. Straight at Phil Clark. Clark immaculate in the tackle. Jackson again. Aston drills it towards the corner flag. Now will it? It won't. And what's more, it won't run dead. Aitchison is in trouble. Great chase by Flange.
Super kick. Great chase. That's all you ask for. Great play by the big winger. He's fired up his plans tonight.
So it's a Wigan dropout from underneath the posts. More pressure about to come in on them. Wigan certainly in no great hurry to take this dropout with Andrew Farrell. Gets some length on those kicks, doesn't he? It bounces right on the 10-metre mark in the Sheffield half. "21 minutes gone, ball in play for nearly 14 minutes, and Sheffield have the better of the possession, 54 to 46%. But they trail on the scoreboard, although they're trying now to rectify that situation with Jackson. Here's Aston. Keeps the ball alive again to Price. Price ducking under the challenge of Pottinger, but couldn't get away from Clark. Jackson again. Aston turns the ball back inside to Powell. Powell escapes the clutches of Clark. He wasn't held. the Eagles can keep this momentum going. They're now in the 20-metre zone. Couple of tackles left in this set of 6. Here's Aston again, switches the direction of the play, finds his captain Powell. Powell gives it short to Anthony Farrell. And he spins again, almost out of the tackle. There's the last one for Sheffield. Jackson, the dummy half. Aston will surely hoist a high kick. This is one to test Aitchison. The referee got in his way. The ball bounces back on Sheffield's side. We're still on the last tackle. That hit Martin Hall, went backwards, it's play on.
Well, Aitchison just pushed the referee Campbell straight in. Get out of the way, he said. This is heavy stuff. Touch to John. I suspect that the Australian Paul Carr is the culprit. There's a tackle from Aston. You can see the elbow go right in. Well spotted. Do without that. The flop is bad enough, but when you start using the elbow with it.
Hall's okay. He will restart play with that tap 10 metres in. This is Cowie. Grounded on the halfway line. 4-0. Wigan are ahead. But by no means one-way traffic. In fact, Sheffield enjoying the better possession, but that's a good, strong run from Platt. Took quite something to bring him down. How they will miss him next season. "30 metres from the line, Clark in possession for Wigan. Good dancing, scampering run. Great tackle on him by Paul Carr. Hall to Edwards. Wigan trying to exert a little more pressure. Lovely ball from Botica to Panipa. Panipa to Connolly. Hall opens up for Connolly. Scrambling defence from Sheffield. Anthony Farrell just hauls him down, keeps them out. This is Edwards. Edwards with a long ball to Betts. Betts even further out wide to Farrell. Twiggamala's got a walk-in try. Inga, the winger, try number 3 of his career in the professional ranks.
2 long balls out wide. The first one from Edwards. And then you'll see a beautiful flick pass coming from the big second rower. Andrew Farrell swips out there and Linton stopped. He'd got inside the Frenchman Frace. You see the ball spin along and the big man, Inga the winger, he goes in for the try. Look at Farrell there, the beautiful pass in. Linton Stott took the huge gamble of coming inside. And it didn't pay off.
Well, Viega Twiggamala's playing in only his 11th game. He's got 2 medals already. And he has now given Wigan an 8-point advantage. But it was a lovely flick pass, wasn't it, from Andrew Farrell that opened things up for him. And despite the fact that he had Frace coming across to try and cut the angle down, it really was a walk-in 4 points for Twiggamala.
Look at that beautiful pass out wide. Stott committed himself, in it goes. Super stuff.
Botica missed with the conversion attempt far out on this near touch line. He'll try again now from the opposite side of the field. Central Park crowd getting a bit excited. The youngsters behind him, they've got a bird's eye view of this one. And another one misses for Botica the boot. 0 from 2 for him, but 8-0 for Wigan.
Linton Stott comes off the wing, he commits himself. The pass backhanded, and the big man, Inga, slides into the corner. Nothing that Fraze could do.
So, Twiggamala's 3rd try of the season, a season that has lasted just 11 matches for him. And Wigan, who are aiming to become the 14th championship-winning side in 20 years to get through to the final, have an 8-point lead. 26 minutes gone. Sheffield, one just hopes, Steve-o, they won't get too dispirited by the fact they've had so much play, and yet they are 8-0 down.
It happens so often against this Wigan side, doesn't it? But Wigan just make them pay so much. It was a mistake that gave Wigan the chance for the first one. And remember, it was a mistake again from Paul Carr. Right deep in the Wigan quarter. gave away the penalty, allowed Wigan to go all the way upfield and post another try. You can't give them gifts.
Here's Edwards. Another intelligent kick downfield. Brad Hayes has bounced over his shoulder. Solid field underneath him. Cowie with the tackle. The ball plays all sorts of tricks on a bone-hard field like this. Darryl Powell. Tremendous record. Powell's got 25 caps for Great Britain. 5 tries in his last 7. Oh, well, Farrell was definitely tackled there. Passed the ball off the ground from all 4s.
Just a lack of concentration. There you see. The tackle is completed. He tried to keep the ball alive. But the prop forward, Neil Cowie, definitely had the hands on.
Referee just stopping the clock for a moment because Frano Botica will begin his preparations for a kick at goal. There's the man who just had a rush of blood, really, and gave away the penalty. Was he held?
No doubt about it. There you see. When the arm hits the ground or the legs, there's a player with a hand on top, and the tackle is effective.
So unusually, Frano Botica hasn't managed to find the mark yet with his kicking. 0 from 2. This is what, about 34 metres from the post, a little more central the position. And you give away penalties in positions like that at your peril. They're in double figures, 10-0 against Sheffield Eagles.
Sheffield's response to that is to send on substitute Dale Lawton wearing number 15. Off has come Lee Jackson, who went into this game with a very ugly cut beneath his eye which needed 4 stitches. That was a legacy of their victory at Warrington last weekend. He got an elbow underneath the eye and it's still a bit of a mess, so it was a surprise that he even started this game. Well, he's come off, been replaced by Dale Lawton.
So Lawton is on. Lost his place. And Mick Cook, he lost his place from last week. That is, Mick Cook will now take the hooking role, presumably from Lee Jackson, who's off the field.
Quite a bad mistake there by Wigan from the kickoff. Allowing it to bounce into touch.
Head and feet to them at the scrum. They are in possession with Panapa. Lawton with his first challenge of this match. Carl Lawton all over Panapa. Referee has given the penalty to Sheffield because he says that Panapa was holding down.
I am standing and I am praising the merry whistleblower. It is the first time I have seen that this season. Mr. Campbell, take a bow. It's about time. Well done. So often we see players milk it. Well, this time it's gone south.
I take it you're impressed with this.
Milking all the way. Maybe a few more will learn.
Well, the Central Park crowd don't like it, but this is an important kick for Mark Aston and Sheffield. It will drag them back, put them in the match, and get the scoreboard ticking, which it does. 10-2. An interesting decision from referee David Campbell.
A good decision. And in fact, I think I'll sit down now.
Challenge Cup referee, and presumably David Campbell will be one of the contenders for the Referee of the Year title, also at that Man of Steel dinner in Leeds next Tuesday. Remember, you can see highlights of the big evening, the glittering occasion in rugby league, on Boots and All next Thursday. But he's obviously got Steve-O's vote as Referee of the Year already.
I'll even buy him a drink.
It is a big night. Ball comes free. It wasn't knocked out.
Pretty late attempt there from Sam Panapa too. Getting warm.
I was going to say, that decision from David Campbell has certainly stirred the pot. And the arrival of this fella too, Dale Lawton. Remember, it was his tackle, his first tackle of the match, that produced that incident. Farrell with the run. Tremendous run. Maguire is there, couldn't hang on to it. Clark's picked it up. Wigan, can they snap back with this attack? Edwards is there and he has to take the tackle from Farrell. But another chance for the Eagles here.
Beautiful break there from Farrell, but you could see Maguire had a lot of heavy traffic around him, never had control of the football. Gone begging.
Here's Cowie. Maguire just roughing up Neil Cowie, and Cowie looks at him through the eyebrows. Not impressed by that at all. 33 minutes gone, 10 points to 2, Wigan lead. It's Wigan in possession with Edwards. The ball was forward, surely to Platt. Well, it was borderline. David Campbell letting them play on. Back inside from Edwards to Afire. And Afire being pushed further and further back, away from the danger zone. Last tackle it is for Wigan. Paul, back to Andrew Farrell. I was about to say a drop goal attempt. Underneath it, Hayes took that one well. Farrell following up, and Hayes got away from him. That's a good run from the full-back, but straight into the clutches of Dennis Betts.
The surprising thing about that towering kick was that when Brad Hayes took it, there was only the kicker had moved forward.
Sheffield in possession. Dale Lawton takes that tackle. The man he has replaced is Lee Jackson, who's now talking with Bill.
Lee, at 10-2, you're by no means out of this.
No, we're going to have a bit of look at the moment, but hopefully we can get a try and things could turn for us.
The difference has been they've had 2 chances and taken theirs, while you haven't capitalised on the openings you've made.
No, well, that's Wigan, they're good at that. But we're still in there, we've just got to keep going, things might go for us.
Is it a gruesome eye injury that's brought you off, or is it something else?
No, I've gone into attack and I've bent my thumb right back, and I can't get the ball, so they brought me off.
Tough game, isn't it? Eye injury, now he's got a bent thumb. Makes you wince just thinking about it. Talking of things rough and tough, after the Premiership, we launch into the state of origin. New South Wales, Queensland. Believe me, it comes no rougher and tougher than that. Well, perhaps it does. The World Club Challenge. Brisbane Broncos against Wigan. Wednesday, the 1st of June. Live and exclusive on Sky. Leaders for rugby league in this country. Edwards. Dabs the ball forward, but he was clobbered. He was hit after the ball had gone.
Pretty late, wasn't it, there by Anthony Farrell? Here's the shoulder. Edwards felt the impact. The crowd went berserk. Now, had Farrell committed himself? No. He went on a little bit late. Perhaps the loose forward could have held back. But he also knows that Shaun Edwards is a very big cog in the Wigan attack.
Dave Fever just checking that jawbone. And referee Campbell wants a word with Anthony Farrell now. He's held the clock up again while he administers this lecture. It'll be interesting to see what his decision is at the end of this. It's a penalty, Wigan. Use of the shoulder, and it's clear for all to see. Was he committed though, Steve, or was he on his way?
He could have held back, but it wasn't as big an impact as some people, especially the crowd here, were making out. But it took an age for the touch judge to come on and let David Campbell know.
And Shaun Edwards appears all right after the treatment. So it gives Wigan the opportunity of another penalty. Botica then, 1 from 3. This one exactly 10 metres in from touch on this near side. That's the angle that Mr. Botica has. A prolific goal kicker, isn't he? Wigan are so confident, by the way, that Sheffield will be kicking off as a result of this penalty. They've already sent the sand boy on to put the mountain of sand for Sheffield to kick off on the centre spot. Let's see if that confidence is well placed. Indeed it is not, but it's bounced back into play, and Farrell is there to pick it up. And the ball comes free. It was not stolen. It's play on. This is Panapa, and that was a good tackle by Carr. Suggestion of a flop perhaps from Maguire, but the referee was right on the spot. Says play on to Wigamala. When this fella gets up ahead of steam, it takes something to stop him. Hall, Cowie. 10 metres from the line. A couple of minutes plus all the stoppage time to go to the interval. Andrew Farrell. Hall wants to get on with it quickly. Passes the ball to Edwards, to Clark. That's the 5th tackle.
Great tackle from Bruce Maguire. It was a try-saver.
Here's Betts. Betts is strolling through, and Betts has scored. Referee looked over his shoulder. 2 in 2 matches in this run in the Premiership for Dennis Betts. And this is a cruel game for Sheffield Eagles.
Was there a bit of obstruction there? They used the dummy runner. See Edwards. Go Betts. And there you see, it was Andy Platt running at the angle. I think Wigan are very fortunate to get away with that one. You see quite clear, the ball comes through. Look at Platt running through. That is a shepherd in my book. That should not have been allowed. You can see the referee, David Campbell, take a look towards the touch judges. But look at that. Platt deliberately runs across and leaves a clear run. If that is not obstruction, my hair will grow tomorrow.
Well, the 2 Sheffield Eagles defenders tackled Andy Platt as Dennis Betts strolled his way to the line. I suppose really that does say it all. But David Campbell's decision is a try. He had a look over his shoulder, did David Campbell, before awarding the try, and saw the crumpled heap of bodies, but didn't consult either touch judge and gave the try, which Botica now converts. So cruelty, that's the name of this game. 16-2, Wigan lead. We're almost at half-time. We're into stoppage time, first half.
You just can't use a man like a battering ram at them. You see Platt come across at the angle, and that is obstruction. You can see on it. Look at that. There's Farrell that's been brought in. And as far as I'm concerned, that should not have been a try. But you'll read it in the newspapers tomorrow, but I wouldn't print it.
Wigamala, a buzz goes round the stadium when he gets the ball. A buzz goes round the opposition too. Stoppage time, first half. Wigan 16-2, perhaps a crucial try from Dennis Betts, who releases that pass to Botica, who in turn gives it to Panapa. It goes over the top to Afire. Afire comes in, goes out, plan slips, and there's another try. Martin Afire is a man on fire. Oh, they're nodding all the way, these two. Martin Afire and Sean Edwards. And Wigan have hit Sheffield with 2 sucker punches in stoppage time in this first half.
There's no query about this one. This is super football. Their own quarter, the ball out wide, Betts, and the combination of the Kiwis. Look at that, Botica to Panapa, long ball out wide. They say all he can do is run. Well, look at that. That was superb rugby league football at its height. A wonderful try. The crowd raised their arms, and why not? The defence was shot to pieces, but the lovely long ball from the centre, Panapa. Look at this, in, out. He didn't know where it was going, David Planch. This guy did. Excellent stuff. Here it comes again. All we need now is big ears.
Martin Afire, 12 tries in 6 matches. Remember, he scored 10 in a Premiership semi-final 2 years ago against Leeds. I know he has his critics. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he's priceless in form like this. Botica, strangely, although they have all been pretty difficult kicks, strangely out of sorts, but it's 20 points to 2.
See what happens when one man comes out of defence. He's out there. If you don't make the tackle, there's only one man out wide. They don't make the tackle, they are in a lot of trouble. And Planch has to start running backwards. He tried hard, did David Planch, but the skill here was superb. In, out, that's not just speed. That is super stuff.
Martin Afire, 2 tries first half. His tally for the season now, 36. He's 4 away from St. John Ellis. But what about the celebrations? I think we'll have to adopt that for the end of boots and all, Steve-o.
With a nose as big as yours, Eddie, I couldn't get that close.
Here's Edwards. And now Aitchison. Wigan are starting to run riot here. Ball in field. But it bounced off the heels of one and into David Frace. There's the half-time siren. 4 minutes of stoppage time played in this first half. A half that, despite all the pressure from Gaston goal for Sheffield Eagles. A first half of big disappointment for the Eagles, but not for this fellow. Martin Afire, 10 tries in a semi-final 2 years ago, 2 tries in each of Sheffield's last 2 visits. And he has appeared in the last 6 Premiership finals, as you can see. First for Widnes, then for Wigan, and is he on the threshold of making it 7 in a row? Shaun Edwards, he's just appeared in 3 Premiership finals, but he is the most decorated player in the big league at the moment. And just a word about Martin Afire's possible 7th appearance, by the way. It would be a new record for the Premiership, breaking his former teammate Mike O'Neill. At the moment, it looks like Andy Platt has got 1 more game to go for Wigan, and that will be at Old Trafford, unless Sheffield Eagles can produce something in this second half. They trail by 18 points at the break, 20 points to 2 in this Stones Bit of Premiership semi-final, the first of 2 big games we've got for you on Sky this weekend. Bradford Northern Cass awaits on Sunday, but today it's all about Wigan and Sheffield Eagles. Sunday at 7, you can see the whole match from Odsal. The game will be played in the afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff, we shall be there. And of course also highlights of the 2nd Division Premiership semi-finals also. 20 to 2, Wigan ahead. Sheffield need to score in this first half, in this second half first, and they need to score quickly too.
With such a deficit, they have to start taking a few gambles also. They can't wait around. It really is all about catch-up football at the moment. And that means panic.
Twigamala with the run. He's just simply brushed Anthony Farrell out of the way then. And Farrell hit the deck about 7 or 8 metres away from where he attempted to make the tackle. The man has such strength. Martin Hall with this run. Sean Edwards, the dummy half. Here's Farrell. He brushes Lawton out of the way, but Aston gets him. Dennis Betts again in at dummy half. Andy Platt was waiting for the pass inside. It never came. That's the 5th tackle for Wigan. Edwards has positioned himself for the kick again. Frace is trying to put him under pressure. Edwards still managed to get the kick away. Here's Brad Hayes, the Sheffield Eagles fullback.
Nice hit downfield from Edwards, but the chases were there. Strong defence. Wigan realising that they just got to soak up the pressure in the first 10-15 minutes of this second half. They realise too that the Eagles will have to start doing something spectacular to make the breaks.
Darryl Powell's a man who can do the spectacular. Hat-tricks in Sheffield's previous 2 appearances at Old Trafford, but in the 2nd division final on each occasion. How they would love to be there in a week's time. 22nd of May. Nick Cook gets away from Edwards. He finds Price, who finds Aston. Aston dribbles the ball forward. It's Farrell who's after it, but Connolly again, his defensive qualities, the ball comes free. It's a knock-on, and Connolly saves another 4 points for Wigan.
Great play from the prop forward, Michael Cook. And look how Aston came searching through. The kick was there, and Anthony Farrell got the bounce and then tried to release the ball. He could see Maguire. He knew that if the ball had gone backwards, the Australian Maguire would have gone in for a vital try. But another chance gone begging.
Gary Hetherington, as we said during half-time, watching from up here on the gantry, has now rejoined us. Gary, 1 or 2, well, dubious refereeing decisions have gone against you. 20 points to 2. Is there any comeback for you?
Yes, there's always a chance with our team. Obviously, it's a very tall order now, and the last couple of minutes of the first half proved to be crucial. But our team will keep battling, and we need to take it to the last 10 minutes and come alive. But it's important that we keep Wigan under a lot of pressure now, and we're always capable of scoring tries, as we nearly did then. But yes, we've a long way to go, obviously.
You had so many chances in that first half. Do you think that you should really have put 1 or 2 in? And we've got one in here now, possibly from Carr. Tremendous run from him. But it's these situations, Gary, you've got to turn into points.
Yes, we've created all the chances, and we're going to have scored the points. That's been the name of the game tonight. But we're capable of scoring quite a few tries. It's important that we score at this stage to get back in the game.
There's another mistake. That's been the story of your night. Gary Hetherington, thanks very much.
A disappointed Australian second rower, Bruce Maguire, realising another chance has been put down. Such good work there from the partner, Paul Carr, in the second row. But to no avail. There's the handling error account. Sheffield 9, Wigan 3. That tells its own story.
Yes, it does. It makes depressing reading for Gary Hetherington. But there's a mistake from Wigan. Now here's Linton Stott. They really must start putting these chances away, Sheffield. Long way to go in this match. 35 minutes or more. And if they could score a try here with Richard Price on the ball, who knows what could happen. Plange is anxious to get on with it. He just blows Aitchison out of the way. A wild hack from Edwards. This is Cook. Good tackling from Betts. Now Aston. They're in the danger zone again, Sheffield, with Broadbent. Gets the ball away, but it wasn't the best pass. Linton Stott picks it up. Little bit of space ahead for Stott. Bounces off the shoulder of Edwards. Hauled down by Twiggamala.
Good run by the winger, though. Nice step.
David Frace, leading try scorer. That's the 5th tackle for Sheffield. So close again. Cook spins the ball to Aston. Delayed. Lawton delayed. Clark wraps him up. The ball with this Wigan defence needs to be spun quickly, particularly on that last tackle.
Great tackle from Clark there. Ball and all. Substitute Dale Lawton had no chance to release it. Once again, this Wigan scrambling defence is superb.
Cowie now. The main thing for Sheffield is they've got to keep Wigan penned in their own half in this set of 6. Get the ball back and then see what they can do. Here's Botica. Botica look to pass out wide and then decided to have the little run himself. Ducked under the first challenge from Maguire. Couldn't get away from Lawton, though. Here's Hall to Platt. That's the 5th tackle, and so Sheffield have done their job here.
Just a matter of basic football now from Wigan. Bide their time. They're in the driving seat. Use the kicking game to perfection and the chasing game. Look at that.
Stott. There were 4 players ahead of Brad Hayes when he received that football. And the only option he had was to give it to Stott, who then just had to take the tackle. Here's Hayes again. Forced back by Hall and Platt.
Interesting to note also that the type of play from Sheffield, they're missing their hooker Lee Jackson. Quite early in the game, Jackson was making a lot of penetration from the dummy half position.
That's a good ball from Aston to Broadbent. A good run from Broadbent too, but he was watched all the way by Hall and Andy Platt. Cook. Aston to Powell. And then out wide. That's Maguire. Maguire to Price, and Price puts another chance down. Another handling error for the Eagles. They're in double figures.
Well, that was try time. Martin Afayette had come in for the intercept. There was only Gary Connolly. If Price had taken that, nothing would have stopped him.
Wange came thundering in on the ground in fire then, and he had a word of admonishment from the referee David Campbell. And there's Farrell. And Broadbent with the tackle on Dennis Betts. Here's Botica. Botica through the gap, but well pulled down by Maguire. For a moment it looked like Botica had escaped. Clark to Edwards, to Tuigamala. Only 11 games, as I said, but I bet he's never been on the end of tackling like he has been on the end of in his entire career, like he has for the last 11 matches. Ball to no one. Botica puts boot to ball. Hayes watches it, picks it up carefully. Only Linton stopped there to help him out. Gets away from 2. Good run from the fullback. Next Doncaster man, also with Souths. Signed from them in 1990. 11 games for Doncaster this season, 3 tries. Now this is Lawton.
Bit of sting has come out of the Eagles' play at the moment. They're making the breaks, but they're being forced to play a lot of one-out football. This Wigan defence is coming at them very quickly from out wide, forcing them down the middle again.
Powell, good ball. Broadbent, good ball round the corner. Oh, and Tuigamala's picked up the pass. Can he beat Hayes? He's through Hayes. Has he got the pace? I think he has. Tuigamala all the way. Try under the sticks for Inga the winger. His second. Just picked up that ball like picking cherries off the trees.
It was the type of play that the Eagles had to try for. You can see Mark Aston try to send the second row of Paul Carr away. They look in disgust as Inga the winger shows his strength, his step, and also the weight and the momentum. Nothing wrong with that try. It took him a while to get it down, but look at the step there. He had Brad Hayes going the wrong way. He's thinking, geez, this is a long way, but the momentum goes, and it's only when he takes it over that the try is given. A good effort by David Fraze, but not good enough.
His last action of this match for the time being, Tuigamala is taken off and is replaced by Jason Robinson, but Frano Botica now from bang in front. And Botica does not miss those. 26 points to 2. Wigan easing their way to Old Trafford.
Interesting substitution there by the new coach Graham West. Jason Robinson enters the fray, and that is a nice polite reminder to Vaiga Tuigamala that a Premiership spot is not going to be gifted to him.
Robinson disappointed to miss out on Wembley, of course.
Let's see what Robinson can do. He's plenty of time to show his class.
And he's immediately into it. Double substitution for Wigan. Twigamala Cowie off, Robinson, Cassidy on. Here's Cassidy. Not bad when you've got players of the calibre of Robinson and Cassidy just dusting the bench for 50 minutes or more. Here's Clark for Wigan. Ahead 26-2. A brave effort, though, this from Sheffield Eagles. And that scoreline does not reflect, just indeed as last Sunday did not reflect, the way that St Helens played the champions.
Rightly so, but the opportunities have not been taken by Sheffield. They really have worked hard. You could see early in the game when they were running the crisscrosses, running the angles, they were creating the gaps, they were going through them, and then they were letting themselves down at the final pass. No good running 4.5 miles and then collapsing just at the tape.
I'm still thinking about that remark.
You've never run 4.5 miles, that's why.
No, you're right. Not collapsed at the tape anyway. Aston with the kick downfield. Aitchison's there. Don't forget, of course, this is all leading up to the big day at Old Trafford next week, the Premiership final, second division, live and exclusive at 1:30 from Old Trafford. And then you will see the first division final at 6:30, following England against Norway at Wembley. What a day of sport on Sky. What a run from Connolly, who has Edwards inside him, O'Fire outside him, takes on Hayes, gives it to O'Fire, it's hat-trick time! Connolly made that. O'Fire has 3. The smiles on the Wigan players tell it all.
They know they nearly bombed it. Martin O'Fire saying to Connolly, you said Connolly made it, but it was Farrell's pass in my book. It was a superb delayed pass. He's looking for him. Where has he gone? It wasn't the best attempted tackle by Price, but the man of the moment is there. The handoff secures the try, the hat-trick in the making. But this pass from Andrew Farrell is absolutely superb. You could see how they pulled Daryl Powell in. That was enough. Where are you, Martin? Away he goes. He loves doing the hat-trick.
Yes, the hat-trick for O'Fire. His 4th hat-trick of the season. And Pottinger adds the extra 2. 32 points to 2. Take nothing away from this team. People say the cracks are showing. I'd love to know where.
You can see how Powell is sucked in. Farrell's little pass. Connolly does the rest. It doesn't take much. Doesn't have to be all that classy. Simple, basic football. That's what I call a pass. And the finishing was there. The difference between the two sides. When Wigan make the break, they finish it off.
Gary Connolly with the run. He thought that the whitewash was beckoning him. Instead, it beckoned Martin O'Fire. Sheffield have made a change. Last throw of the dice from Gary Hetherington. Bill Arthur with details.
He's probably left it a bit late. Paul Carr, who really has worked his heart out for the Eagles so far in this game, has been given a breather, and on comes Ian Hughes in his place.
Can Ian Hughes stop this Wigan tide that's rolling forward now? And there he is, Ian Hughes. He's just 22 years old. Try at Warrington. Cassidy with that run, almost bowled Powell over, but the Eagles, who beat Warrington quite comprehensively last Sunday. They had a wow of a game at Wilderspool. But this Wigan outfit is, well, different class, Stevo.
It's all about finishing power, isn't it? They absorb so much pressure. The punishment is always there. The fitness tells. They take their chances.
Farrell hoists a mighty kick. That's got snow on it. Hayes takes it really well. Was a Wigan player impeded as he chased that kick downfield? The crowd seemed to think so.
Clark got a little push along the way, let's say.
Wigan are all round the man in possession with the ball. David Campbell pulling Edwards off.
Well,
And Mark Aston exchanging words and perhaps something else.
Well, it's not a tummy upset for Shaun Edwards, that's for sure. There you see the headbutt from Mark Aston, and rightly so. Shaun Edwards didn't like it. Then he gets another one from Farrell. Now, is Mr. Campbell looking into his back pocket? Yes.
Oh, and it's a red card. He's off. A red card for... He's changed his mind. Oh, dear. Sin bin first. Dear, dear, that was almost a moment of complete disaster for Mark Aston. As it is, it's 10 minutes, not off for good. Aston's not convinced. The Sheffield trailing 32-2, and now they have Mark Aston in the sin bin.
Well, there was little doubt. He throws ahead. That's it. He's looking to be on the field, full stop. Not that Shaun Edwards should have taken action like that. You can do without headbutting.
The referee produced the red card, looked up, saw it was red and changed his mind.
Well, it has been known before for people to be colourblind.
The referee, I think, said to Mark Aston, "You're in the sin bin for 10," because he heads it straight to the dugout, and there he is. If it had have been a red card, Mark Aston would have to be in the changing rooms now. Anyway, as a result of that decision by referee David Campbell, we're going to have the chance for an extra 2, courtesy of the boot. And an extra 2 it is. 34-2. Edwards has taken a breather in the dugout himself. And we're just trying to work out whether Mr. Edwards was shown the yellow card also. The referee certainly showed the yellow card to Mark Aston, and he has apparently also shown the yellow card to Shaun Edwards. So they're both in the bin for 10 minutes. Edwards for the retaliation.
Well, we got that out of the way. Let's get back to football. The crowd here are baying for more points.
So there you are. Both down to 12. An hour gone. 20 minutes left. Space is there now for both sides to exploit.
This is a time where the referee, David Campbell, hopefully will take pretty keen eye, and that was forward. He's got to keep control of this now, David Campbell.
Long ball from Hall to Farrell. Farrell dabs it through. Fires after 4, but I think that bounce will beat him into touch, and it does. Farrell with the little chip over the top.
For such a big man, he's got such a gentle touch there. Thinking all the time.
Stayed in play an eternity as well, didn't it?
Well, they kicked the ball underneath it so that it's actually spinning backwards. It's something that they practice a long time. It's not just lady luck on many occasions. They do practice that type of thing.
(34-2), Wigan and Sheffield down to 12 men for 10 minutes. Wigan in possession with Betts, another mistake by the Eagles. And Wigan in the driving seat in every sense of the word. Robinson now just hauled down. Farrell was there to drag him down by the shorts after Broadbent's initial challenge. Botica to Connolly.
They're spinning the ball out wide now, Wigan.
Here's Clark, back inside to a fire. He scored 3. He gives it to Panapa, who in turn lets Platt have a run. Here's Hall, now Farrell. Still Farrell, soccer skills, a fire taps it forward, Betts! 2 for Betts! That's 3 in 2 matches for Dennis Betts.
He called it, did the hooker Martin Hall, the man on the inside. They collided. It was Big Farrell that got the boot to it first, then Martin got through. Dennis says thank you. In his younger days, Dennis Betts, pretty good soccer player, they tell me. But that's the call of the move, and things really have gone their way, haven't they? He can't get to it. Martin puts it through. He's looking at 4. Dennis says, get out of my way.
Well, yeah, Dennis Betts had trials at Old Trafford, I understand. Almost became a Manchester United player. He might have been playing in the FA Cup final tomorrow. As it is, he's going to be playing in the Premiership final at Old Trafford next Sunday. Back to his roots. Botica with the conversion again. Not kicked well, and yet he's got 5 out of 9. Will it be 6 from 10? It will. 40 points to 2. Wigan have made a change. We saw Farrell going off. Let's get the details from Bill.
Andy Farrell's had a storming game for Wigan. He's had a well-earned breather, or he's taking a well-earned breather in the dugout, and he's been replaced by number 8, Neil Cowie.
Cowie back on then. I thought he was sporting a beard first half, but sure he didn't have a shave at half-time. Sheffield. Hall then didn't play the ball properly. Played it on one knee. They all want to score.
Well, not the best attempt to play the ball by Martin Hall, but he really couldn't get that ball away. It was good defence from Sheffield. They put themselves between Martin and Fire. But you could see the glint in the hooker's eyes, couldn't you? Try time was looming.
Was indeed. Broadbent with the run for Sheffield. Cook to Maguire, former Australian international. He won't pack it in with a quarter of an hour to go. This now is Dale Lawton. Ball down by Hall and Cowie. Cook to Maguire. Maguire takes it back in. Ooh. And Connolly was sniffing for an interception there. As it is, Price will kick forward. A race between Plange and Fire. Fire gets there first.
Did the right thing there, Martin. No point in trying to take the ball, realising that heavy traffic was coming. He would have got crunched right into the billboards, no doubt. Did the right thing.
Just another reminder for you, the State of Origin series gets underway on Sky Monday the 23rd of May at 10:30, repeated 9:30 that night, and the Brisbane Broncos against the champions Wigan, Wednesday the 1st of June at 10, repeated that night at 7. So join us live in the morning if you can, and certainly join us in the evening. There's a try for Sheffield Eagles. While we're telling you about all that, Ian Hughes and consolation is the name of the game for the Eagles. If only it would have come sooner.
Full credit though to the Eagles for still continuing on. Beautiful pass there from Daryl Powell, the substitute. Ian Hughes in for a well-taken try. See the class here of Powell. He throws the dummy and then just delays it. You can see it was Clark that had come out of the straight line of defence.
So Ian Hughes, a try against Warrington last week, a try here at Central Park, former under-21 international. And David Frace from 10 metres out, because Mark Aston, of course, is in the sin bin. So a change of kicker here for Sheffield, but no stranger to the art of kicking. He was in the last French team to beat Great Britain at Leeds in 1990, and he scored 5 goals that day. He scored 1 goal tonight. 40 points to 8. Consolation.
See how the defender comes out of the straight line on the angle, the gap appears. Beautiful pass from Powell, the substitute. Hughes, he does the rest. Well worked.
Sheffield have made another change. 68 minutes gone. Here's Bill.
Linton Stott, the man to come off, the winger, and on has gone Paul Carr, and in the meantime the sin binners, Sean Edwards and Mark Aston, who were both sent to the sin bin, have both come back on. Let's hope it's all sweetness and light between those two now.
Be an interesting last 12 minutes. But both sides back to full strength. Aston there, ball put down, Cassidy picks up, and the Eagles scramble to haul him down. Don't want to concede anymore. Botica, Cowie straightening up, still with all the strength, Neil Cowie. Hall the dummy half, here's Platt. Now he would like to crown his last appearance at Central Park with a try. Hall, back to Botica, now Edwards. Short ball to Betts, who's on a hat-trick. Edwards. Aitchison. Took it rather fancy, but it came off. Last tackle. Panaper, the dummy half. Here's Edwards. Stabs it forward. It bounced off the knee of Plange. Clark with the kick. Broadbent with the run, Plange with the run, Cassidy with the tackle. Mick Cook. Credit the Eagles though, Steve Oates, still 10 minutes to go. They're not packing in.
No, they haven't thrown the towel in. The big problem is that their mistake rate still continues. But that was expected. We knew that they had to take so many gambles.
If only that try would have come in the opening 10 minutes.
Big word, that if, though, isn't it?
It's only an if only, isn't it? Yeah.
They are a very professional outfit, Wigan. They've shown it. They're scrambling defence. They were allowing a lot of gaps in the first 20 minutes, but that's tightened up somewhat.
Powell with the run, and it was Edwards with the tackle. Here's Powell again. Ball out wide to Frace. Chances here now for Sheffield again. Frace trying to release Paul Carr, who's playing as an emergency winger. Under pressure from Aitchison, it went nowhere.
Well, he didn't realise, the Frenchman, that there was someone on the inside. But again, nice pass from Daryl Powell. They've shown some neat touches, especially that man, David Frace. But it's a clinical finishing of the Wigan side.
There's the pace from Connolly. It's carried on by Botica, who grits his teeth and heads for the post. Look at the speed of Botica. He's all the way home. Botica with the try. Just put his ears back and raced to the posts.
This is a superb passage of play. Once again, Wigan, they attack from deep within their own quarter. Long ball out wide, and look at the change there. I haven't seen that since Lewis Jones. Super stuff there. Inside, Frano Botica, should I say. I don't just score goals, I score tries too. That was superb play. Look at the kick there from Connolly. Little scissors movement. Calm, cool and collected, as the Great Britain professional he is. And look at the Kiwi. This is try time. It's mine. Make it easy. I'm going to convert.
Botica with the try, and Botica now with the conversion attempt. 6 from 10. I rather fancy it will be 7 from 11 in a moment. I hate to say I told you so. 46 points to 8.
This is the point where Connolly does the scissors kick, and it just halts the defence enough for him to go through it. There he goes. He who hesitates usually finds himself floundering. And we talk about the clinical finishing, but look at Botica go. I don't think he's run that fast or as long for such a long time.
So it looks like Wigan now will be the 14th championship winning side in 20 years to contest the Premiership final, and they are bang on course for the treble. Betts, who scored 2 tonight with that run after the pass and run from Robinson.
Wigan are having the time of their life. With a scoreline at 46-8, they can afford now to enjoy it. Gamble. The individual skills start to be shown.
It's a break from David Frace with speed. Can he get away from Aitchison? He most certainly can. And well done, the Eagles. They keep on going despite all the adversity they've faced tonight. And David Frace gets his 23rd try of the season.
Just reward for the Frenchman. We said that Wigan, at the point of just pushing the ball too much, Dennis Betts trying to get the neat pass through. But the Frenchman, Frace, picked up the opportunity. He does well. He goes in and then goes out. Not enough to just put the fullback Paul Aitchison away. And that is just reward for a fine game. First 15 minutes, both Frace and his centre partner Richard Price were really finding those holes in the Wigan defence. But this time he finally adds the 4 points that eluded them so much in that first stanza.
David Frace with the try. And Mark Aston has kicked the extra 2. Back out of the sin bin, it's 46 points to 14. But Wigan stay on course for that treble. And it's the Championship, Challenge Cup and Premiership treble that they have won once before in 1992. Is history going to repeat itself in 1994? Castleford and Bradford will have a big thing to say about that.
My word, big game on Sunday. They both know who they will be meeting. They know that the task will not be easy. But they've beaten them before this season, and I'm sure they'll want to do it again.
Will it be Bradford? Will it be Castleford at Old Trafford? A week on Sunday. You can find out this Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. The whole match as live. In some quarters, the rumour is it is live at 7. It isn't. It's kicking off at 3. We'll have the whole match for you, though, here on Sky with a delayed telecast.
Well, the mistakes just continue, don't they? Poor old Sheffield. Lady luck perhaps not with them in the early part of the game, but you can't avoid the skills of this Wigan outfit.
Botica after that kick through, and Botica with Wigan jamboree here at Central Park. The game's leading point scorer and try number 12.
A planned move, a beautiful kick through. In this modern day, they do not have a fullback in position at the scrum. The result so often can be this. It was a beautiful, well-timed kick from Shaun Edwards. They knew exactly what it was all about. It was supposed to be for Martin O'Fire, but he got bowled over. And Frano Botica, I'm getting used to this. And he enjoyed it.
Wigan's 9th try, and shared out anything but equally. Only 4 players have scored tries here tonight. Botica's got 2, Betts has got 2, Twiggamala's got 2, and Afire has got 3. And Botica has another 2 points to his total. 52 points to 14.
Like youngsters at a party, when there's nobody there, you always enjoy yourself. Look at that. Kick over the top. Botica racing through. That is superb skills. A joy to watch. A champion side on their way perhaps to add the Premiership.
Frano Botica with that try and conversion moves through the 400-point barrier for the season now. The game's leading point scorer by a mile. Robinson, still anxious, I'm sure, to make his mark on this semi-final and just nudge Graham West into giving him his opportunity again at Old Trafford next Sunday. But they'll be queuing up now, Steve-O, to play in the final, won't they? Every one of them.
And why not? You can see the urgency still in this Wigan outfit. Even though the scoreline, they've topped the 50 so far, but they want to get on with it. They want more. They're eager. They're hungry. And that is why they're such a great side.
Maguire took a crack on the head as he tackled Paniper, and Paniper was hurt also. Ball out to Robinson. Left-footed from Robinson. Underneath it, Brad Hayes. Tired legs and tired players out there now. Connolly with the tackle on Ian Hughes. Ball was stolen. Penalty, Sheffield. Last half minute of the match. Connolly still shaking his head.
Connolly the culprit there. Fingertips just nipped it away. But he knows the winning bonus is in the back pocket.
Here's Powell. Still going Powell. Little gap for Powell, but the ball spills up. Aston's after it. Connolly picks it up right on the line. Doesn't go out, so he's able to continue. We're into stoppage time in this Stones Villa Premiership semi-final. Wigan are at Old Trafford to meet either Bradford or Castleford. It's been a brave fight by Sheffield Eagles, but on the night they just didn't have enough armour, and they put down those early chances, and Wigan have taken full advantage. Edwards dinks it over the top again. Clark was after it. Carr got a fingertip to it. Referee says play on. Hughes has it for Sheffield. It's now with Carr, who's through Hall's tackle, not away from Botica or from Clark. David Frace, the dummy half. Credit the Sheffield Eagles outfit. They're keeping it going right to the final siren. Broadbent to Aston. One-handed into the arms of Lawton. Lawton straightening up. Cassidy took a bang then in the face. So did Platt from the palm of Lawton. Oof. Farrell with a strong run straight through Edwards, who
Edwards threw a punch at Aston. It's still not over.
There's little love between those two, is there? Here's Brad Hayes. Tosses the ball back in field. He knew he was going out of play. Price with a kick forward. Play on. Hayes with the try. Yes, 4 points. Smile on Hayes' face. And that's Hayes' first try, by the way, for the Eagles.
Good play by the fullback to keep it alive there. There you see Richard Price. He decides to put boot to the football. It comes off Connolly. The fullback did the right thing. That's a good try. Well taken. And fully deserved. Look how he keeps the ball alive here. That is good play by the Aussie utility player. And Price did his part. Confusion in the Wigan defence, but not for this man. Good try. Look how he kept it alive. And you can see the Wigan defence, they don't know what's happening. In, out, bounce about, kick it around, and 4 points. My shout.
Conversion is missed by Aston. But there's the full-time siren, and dejection for Sheffield Eagles and Mark Aston, but jubilation for Wigan, who make it to the Premiership final at Old Trafford. 3 tries from Martin O'Fire. And Gary Connolly too, allowing a smile. And Andy Platt says farewell to the Central Park stage. He leaves at the end of this season for Auckland, and he has ensured that his end of season will be at Old Trafford next Sunday. After that, of course, he's in Brisbane with the champions against the Broncos. But this is the final bow, the final curtain at Central Park for Andy Platt, this year's Man of Steel. Phil Clark says, see you at Old Trafford. Wigan will take the applause of their supporters. They will go to the Kop, and they will take the celebrations that means that they are at Old Trafford next Sunday. They're bred on success here at Wigan, and Andy Platt says an emotional farewell. He has been a big servant for Wigan since he arrived from St Helens. Auckland bound. I'm sure there's the odd tear in Andy Platt's eye. And let's go down, because Bill Arthur has snared the Man of Steel.
Andy, that's quite an emotional end to this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few doubts in the week whether I'd play or not. But unfortunately, Kelvin was ruled out, and it gave me a chance, you know, to play my last game. And you know, it's a great result and a great end to a great, fantastic Wigan career for me.
This was a typical Andy Platt performance. Lots of work in the engine room.
A few missed tackles on him. I'm a bit disappointed with that. Dropped off a few near the end, but yeah, you know, I always try to give 100%, and you know, hopefully I've given that to the Wigan team and also the Wigan public.
6 years here. What's your abiding memory of life at Central Park?
There's been so many. You know, I think I've got to pay tribute to the players and the coaches that have been fortunate enough to play with. They've been great, and without them, I'm just I'm just an average player. And the lads who I've played with have been the inspiration for me. And I thank every one of them, all the ones who are not even here today as well.
Hardly an average player, Andy. Thanks very much indeed, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Indeed, best of luck to Andy Platt in Auckland. It has finished 52 points to 18 here at Central Park. Wigan are on their way to Old Trafford with a vengeance. Bradford or Castleford will play.